Recording in progress.
Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Hi, Adam.
Morning.
Nice and warm over there, is it?
Humidity's through the roof today.
Yeah. We're expecting some snow today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where are you based, Eli?
I am in Abertrida.
Really?
I bet you know where that is.
Oh, Wales, obviously, I guess.
It's have you heard of a place called Caerphilly?
Yes, we have heard.
Yeah, it's in the Caerphilly council, so it's a small village just on the outside of Caerphilly. Yeah, it's lovely. It's 10 minutes into Caerphilly, where you've got pretty much everything you could need. You've got all your big shops, your big supermarkets, and B&Q and I don't know, curries and all of those sort of things. Half an hour into Cardiff, but literally I walk across the road and I can walk straight up the mountain in complete surrounded by nature, total wilderness almost, and it's just so peaceful here. We're in a little cul-de-sac. There's no through roads, no traffic noise. Oh, it's just beautiful. We love it.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. And future, there is a bit of space. There's about maybe 2.5 meters of space between this wall and the fence. So maybe, I don't know, it could be possible. I could actually double the size of this room. I could double the width of this room for future, because this was actually a garage. And the previous owners changed it into a room. Like in front of me here, there was a big roller door for the car to come in. He's knocked that all down and put a big wall there with a window, and obviously insulated the whole thing and done it all into a proper built room. So it's so good for us to have this extra space. But it's a single car garage, so obviously, as you know, when I'm training there, it's a little bit narrow. And I can't film the other way. When I train myself, I train the other way. But if I film that way, I can't get my whole frame in. My head or my feet will be cut off. Because there's no space further that way to put the camera. So yeah, it'd probably be quite a costly job. So it might be once we've paid off the house kind of a long-term goal. But to knock this down and double the size of this room would just be phenomenal. Because we don't really use that little space out there anyway, apart from storing a couple of things, so we wouldn't be losing anything out. Yeah.
I thought you were going to walk up the mountain, build,
Yeah. Maybe I could talk to the farmer. It's the mountain that I walk up is all farmland, so you see some cows and sheep up there as well while you're walking through. So I could have a chat to him, ask him if I could build a little pagoda there and, do some training. I will be doing that when we do camps in Britain, and if they're down here closer to Wales, like I'm doing one in summer. And it's close by here, so we'll do a couple of walks up there, maybe do some Qigong in the evening with the sunset. Not a proper training school up there, of course, but at least go for a walk after training and just stretch the legs, get some fresh air, that kind of thing. So... All right, let's get moving. All right, let's move. Wait a minute. I forgot one thing. There's so many things I've got to click on now before I start training. My different camera, my different mic, screen settings, musician's mode on for better sound quality. Okay. Come on, I just moved that and nothing happened. That happened a bit too much, sorry, got overexcited there. Oh, come on! What's happening today? Let me show my head.
Tiny bit more up. No,
There we go.
Good.
There we go. Okay. Right, let's move. Let's open the bum. I mean, open the spine. Stick the bum out. Don't open your bum, whatever you do. Okay, opening up. Stick your bum out, pull your shoulders back, palms back, elbows back, head up, chest forward, breathing in. Squeezing your shoulder blades back and down towards the lower spine. And then curl up into a ball. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Neutralize. Sink down, straight spine. Relax your spine. Flex your spine, straighten it up. Relax your spine. Same again, in breath, out breath. In breath, out breath. Roll your spine up. And breathe out at the top. Open, close. Neutralize again. Take it down. Relax your spine at the bottom. Let it hang. This time lift your palms out to the sides, thumbs up, squeeze the shoulders down and back. Squeezing the shoulder blades together and relax. Straighten the spine, lift the hands up at 90 degrees to each other, out like a Y, and relax down. Lift the hands up straight in front of your head, straightening the spine, and relax down. Lift the hands out to the rear and straighten your spine. Squeezing your shoulder blades back and down, rotating your palms externally so your thumbs are facing upwards, but they're twisting externally, not internally. And down. Roll your body up. Breathing in on the way up and breathing out on the way down. Just be careful with some of these moves where we've got our head down a lot of the time like that. Sometimes you can get a little bit dizzy and then you roll up and you can let yourself get a little bit too dizzy if you do it too quickly, if you're not used to it. So I have seen people kind of come up and stumble backwards. So just be careful when you're doing those movements. Okay, drop into a lunge. Whoop. As low or high as what's comfortable for you. Just twisting around that rear leg, opening up through that hip and the ankle, stretching and flexing that that rear ankle, just moving it around, getting some mobility in that rear ankle. Close the hips, open the hips, moving around, getting those glute max flexing up on that standing leg. Hamstrings are engaged, quads are engaged, warming up all of those muscles. Switch sides, twisting, moving, using, and trusting. Proving as well. Let's lift the hands back again. Squeeze the shoulder blades back as you lift your hands out to the sides, standing up onto your toes. Breathing in, reaching up onto the balls of your feet, onto your demi points. And down the center. Bend your knees a little. Up. Stretching. Chest lifting up, arms lifting up, reaching up to the sky, and down. That bend, you can go down as low as you want with that squat. As long as you maintain good structure. That is knees in line with toes, feet pointing forward, weight in your heels. So do a proper squat. If you can't do a proper squat, practice. Get your mobility back. Squatting is a primary human function. If you can't squat, there's a lot wrong with your body. It's not like doing the splits. Doing the splits is something fancy that you have to learn. Even children, newborn babies cannot do the splits fully. They can certainly do a lot closer to the splits than the average adult, but they can't do a full split. So that's something you've really got to, train into your body if you want to do something like that. It's not just a fundamental core movement. Because, why would you ever want to do the splits? What function does it have? Not saying you shouldn't do it. It's nice if you can do it. It's a nice movement. It looks cool. Maybe you like the feeling of it or something. From a practicality point of view, not that useful really. But squatting, you're sitting out in the middle of the desert in Australia, nothing but sand dunes for 500 kilometers in every direction, no other human beings around, and you can just sit there, enjoying yourself, instead of sitting on some kind of unnatural toilet. Okay. Oh, I'm getting warm this morning. I've got my big jumper on, so I'm warming up faster. Oh, hey. Sorry. I put my mic on this morning. I didn't put it under my t-shirt because I had my jacket on. Okay. Right, we're going to do some tapping. A lovely way to warm up is tapping. Okay, you're going to start turning your body one way and then the other. Just nice and loose. See how your arms just kind of, see I'm not using my shoulder muscles to do the movement. I'm just swinging my body, and the arms, you see, they just fling around and then lightly bump onto my body. But towards the end of the movement, if you flick your center back the other way, your hands will flick harder. Okay, so you turn one way, boom. Nothing much happens. But turn one way, then back the other way, quickly, hop, and your hands, whoop, they fling. It's like cracking a whip. You don't crack a whip by doing it one way. You throw it one way and pull the base back. Or you know, when you wind up the tea towel and whip your wife on the legs. Like that. You've got to pull the base back to get that end of the towel to flick forwards. So that's what we're doing here in a more gentle manner, but throw your waist up and then turn it back. So just turn your waist left, right, but a little bit more abruptly. If you do it smoothly, your hands will just swing around smoothly. But you see, if I twist my waist back and forth the other way, and of course I'm using just a little tiny bit of control in my arm muscles just to direct the hands to where I want them, which is around the upper chest shoulder region, and same on the back, sort of through the upper back, like so. And I mean, you can direct that to wherever you want, like, oh, I'm feeling a bit of tension just a little bit more to the outside of this shoulder. So I can direct that hand to wherever I'm feeling that tension through my body. But as I say, it still feels like the power of that movement is coming from my center. If I stop my center and start using my arms, that feels horrible, and it feels like my shoulders are getting tired now. Feels my arms feel like rag dolls, you know, really loose on the end of the movement. And then just gradually let that movement come a little lower down through your body. You'll feel more your forearms bumping into your mid-chest and mid-back, coming down into your abdomen, lowering down, right down into your lower abdomen, hitting the top of your glutes here. Okay. Now we're going to do our legs. A little bit extra things to do here. Well, all we're going to do with the hands is the tapping part. Just start right up here on your hips, just in here into your hip flexors, and you're going to go ba 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 ba, and just tap all the way down and all the way up. How hard you do it is up to you. You should do it good and solid, but not so much that you're bruising your legs or something, but like a good solid boom 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 down through your legs. Then we do that twice, then the outsides, then the back, then the inside. So each run we'll do twice. But there's a little bit of body movement before it happens. So what we do is, like we've just done earlier in the warm-up, we're going to lift the hands up, stand onto the toes, breathing in, and then when we start the first tap, you're going to stomp from that position, stomp your heels down into the floor as you hit your hips, and then all the way down and all the way back up again. When you're going down also, you will bend your knees, but not so much that you're feeling no stretch. Just bend your knees a little bit, but enough so you're still feeling a bit of opening up through the hamstrings when you go forward like that. So, hands out to the sides, in breath, standing onto the balls of your feet. Now breathe out through the mouth. Ow! When you hit your jacket, the zip flicks up and whacks you right on the moon of your nail. I'm going to take that off. Okay, again. This time up the center. Same thing, but down the outsides. Dodging the microphone in your pocket. Up. Same thing, up the center, but down the back. So you're going to hit your bum and all the way down your hamstrings. And again, wherever you feel there's a bit more tension, you can sort of stay on that bit for a little bit longer, like, oh, just a few extra taps on that particular part, things like that. So it doesn't have to be any exact positioning with the hands. Just where it feels like it needs woken up. Maybe backs of the knees need a little bit more. And then, come on, Gabby, open your feet out this time because you're going to tap down the inside of your thighs. So out to the sides again. Really great job, Gabby. And breathe out through the mouth. Come on, Gabby, tap your legs. That's it. Breathe in, hands out to the sides. Stand on your toes. Breathe out, hit your legs. Good girl. Okay. So that's tapping. That's tapping Qigong, warming up your body. There's a whole bunch of different sequences you can do with that. That's just a general warm-up tapping sensation. Hello, what are you doing? What's up, baby girl? Yeah? Do you want to do some Tai Chi with Papa? Yeah? Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Did you hurt your foot or something when you did that? Yes, you hurt your foot. Oh, did you stomp your foot a bit hard? Hey? Hey, I have to finish my class now, okay? Is that all right with you? Is that all right with you? Mummy will give you a cuddle, though. Mummy will give you a cuddle.
You don't want Mummy? Oh, wow.
Come on. What about Clara? Go on. Go play with Clara. Good girl. Okay. Right. Twisting. You're going to put your weight into your front leg. In fact, I'm going to do this one facing the same direction as you, make it less confusing. So I'm going to push my weight over to my right leg, keeping my feet planted, parallel, shoulder width-ish, facing forwards, turning my body like I'm trying to look around to the rear, you see? I'm pulling this arm all the way back. You see, I'm squeezing that shoulder blade back. The left arm is coming across into my center. Then I'm going to reverse that. Squeeze, open that shoulder back. And twist your spine. And your head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Sorry, the kids have been playing lots of musical games lately. Remember, when you're doing twisting actions, be careful of your knees. Particularly this standing knee. Don't let it push out and twist the knee. Keep that knee nice and strong by squeezing your inner thigh in here. When you turn, when you close into the thigh like that, you're closing into the movement. If you completely relax, and this is the same throughout your Taiji forms, particularly your Bagua forms, when you do a closing movement like so, you need to squeeze your inner thigh muscle in here. If you relax it, the knee will sag out. You'll feel your big toe kind of lifting off the ground, and now you're putting excessive pressure, twisting pressure on the side of your knee, which we don't want. So when you close your hip, you have to squeeze in here. It's called the qua in Chinese, which just means hips basically. But in there like so, you're squeezing the hip. The hip joint is squeezing in, squeezing the hips together, okay, like so. Of course, the opposite is true when you open the hip, when you do these kind of moves. Now, we have to open the hips out, because otherwise, if I relax, the knee will cave inwards. Now the big toe is collapsing, the arch of my foot is collapsing, the little toe is lifting up like so. So we never want that happening either side. So keep your foot nicely planted on the ground. It's not bending in or out. So in the case of this move, we're closing into each movement. There's not really much hip opening happening in this particular stretch. So you're going to have to squeeze inward. You feel that little toe compressing into the ground like so, you're doing something wrong. You've got to squeeze that in. It could also be that you're turning your hips too far. Your hips, your pelvis, I can only turn it to there. If I try to turn it further, my pelvis is not actually turning any further. Sorry, my pelvis is. My hip is not moving anymore, because that's where my hip maxes out. My hip can't move anymore. To turn any further, I have to either let my toe go, or let it buckle, or, finished with that joint, start moving the spine. You see, spiraling up through the spine. So once I get to that position, that hip joint is maxed out, it can't turn any further. The rest of the spiral, the rest of the twist is coming from the spine. So I'm not feeling any more buildup of pressure down through here when I do that extra movement. If you're feeling more buildup of pressure, when you do the spiral through your spine, you know you're turning your hips a little more as well, in which case you're putting excessive pressure on your knees. So let's try that twisting again. Twist it across. Bring it around. Make sure you're squeezing that shoulder blade. This one here, squeezing that back. Shoulder blade pinching into the spine. Now let's just flow a little more. Be even more careful now that there's a little bit of momentum in the movement, that you don't damage your knees or your back for that matter. If you've got any problems with your back, you don't want to go whoom really fast into a movement and then strain a muscle. So listen to your own body as far as how fast you're going to go. I keep forgetting I've got no clock. I will buy a clock this week. Don't worry, guys. I don't have to keep coming over to my computer then. Okay. We're going to go through the Yang Lu Chan's form. Today, when we go through the Yang Lu Chan form, just the first third as usual, I'm going to call out, instead of one specific principle like we've done in the past, where maybe I just focus on calling out the breathing or something like that, I'm going to call out just very specific details of each posture. Not a lot, not as in, you know, you got to lift your hands, do that. I'm not going to explain every detail of the posture, but what I'm going to do is like, the most important thing to focus on is what I'm saying. So, you know, maybe we get to the first brush knee twist step. Okay, a lot of people tend to do this posture arching the back with a curve in the spine, for example. So I'd say like, make sure here you sink, you tuck, you lift that. I'll just go over the most important things about that posture. Don't stand on the trampoline, please, Clara. My camera's on there. Okay, don't step on the trampoline, all right? Okay, so let's go through. We'll do it right side today. The last time we did it was left side, whatever day that was. So we're going to do it right side today. Okay, opening movement. The most important thing here is just to get the timing, what we went over last night in class. The flow of the yin and yang in the hands. Making sure your palms stay parallel to the floor. Maintaining your structure in the palms, in the arms. When you sink down into this next movement, make sure that your center line is turning the whole way across into your front leg. Step straight forward, tuck your pelvis under, reach that leg as far forward as you can without losing your balance. Pung, center your body fully into the front, and then turn your left toe in just an inch before you pick up your rear foot to move into double pung. Tuck your pelvis. Make sure that lower back is nice and flat as you reach your leg out for your stance, and then moving forward into double pung again, centering your body into the front. Move forward as you roll your palms over, then sink backwards. Connect your hands down low and lift them up on a diagonal path back to the chest height. Sink back, breathing in. Push forward from your back leg and then start dropping your hands. Open everything out and press your fingers forward as you straighten your front leg, pushing your weight backwards. Fish is in 8. Make sure you push both palms out to the front and then wash the window with only the right palm. Open your center to the left as you lift your hand. Scoop your hand down. Straighten your right arm as you pick up your foot. Pelvis tuck, spine vertical. Stay nice and upright. Look forward. Your gaze helps you with your posture. Keep your gaze forward as you open your center and close your center to stop you leaning forward. Open everything out. Very small adjustment of the left foot here. When you do this movement, this following movement, the reverse double dragon palms, don't go too far to the right. Most people do this strike way too far off to the right, as in the angle of the strike. The strike should be aimed at the front corner. It's even a good idea to do it a little bit less than the corner, a little bit more to the left. So I'm going to strike somewhere between the north, as in the starting point of the form, and the northeast. So here comes the strike. See, it's not a side strike. Tuck pelvis, foot off the ground, breathing in. Slow. When you come down, make that downward movement last for your whole out breath. Your foot touches the ground only at the end of your breath. And inhalation as you rock the weight a little bit forward. Again, tuck that pelvis. All the one-legged stances, it's important to really focus on tucking that pelvis. Body nice and upright. Twist from your spine when you're doing this movement. Okay, coming into the first brush knee twist step, turn your right foot in just an inch and then sink down onto it. tuck your pelvis, engage your core, lift your foot up, lift your knee right up to your palm, which is yang. Reach that leg out and sink forward. Roll that rear foot up. Put it back where it was. Sink back. Scoop the palms. Lift up, breathing in. Slow. And again, just like lift hands, as you drop the hands, make it last for the whole out breath. Then inhalation and exhalation into the movement. Inhalation as you lift the leg. Exhalation forward. Inhalation. Strike out. Again, here, particularly this one, because your pelvis is a little bit downward tilted here. Tuck it under. Engage your core. Tuck that pelvis under to lift your knee upwards. Keep your pelvis tucked, feeling your core engagement as you reach the foot out to place the heel. Same again on the other side. Pelvis tilts down a little bit. Then as you lift the knee, you're going to engage the core, squeeze it up in front of you. And then roll the foot. Same again. Sinking back. Full lengthed movements over the breath. Breathing in, tucking the pelvis, and breathing out. Heel touches the ground at the end. Settle, breathe in, breathe out into the posture of holding the ball. Breathe in, lifting the knee, tucking the pelvis, engaging the core, keeping the body nice and upright, looking forward. Keep your center open. Again, when the fist gets to the head height, your center is still in an open position, so then it can twist into the movement. We've got horizontal circles happening here. When you go into the punch, make sure your circles change into more vertical line circles by taking your right hand, bringing it down to your hip, pull a knife out of your pocket and stab him in the guts. Here we go. In breath. And sitting back. So just give a couple of extra details there now that we're finished. I don't know if you can hear or not, but my two little girls are in there. Expelliarmus, expecto patronum. They've just started their Harry posture. I'm thinking too much about Tai Chi. Harry Potter marathon, their first introduction to Harry Potter. So they're really liking it, and they're running around with their pencil wands, putting spells on each other. Okay, I just wanted to mention something about brush knee twist step today. Just a little tip. You must make sure that there is always full body movement behind any strike, obviously. That's pretty clear. In fact, I'll talk about two movements here. Firstly, this one here, going into this low posture. When we sink down, watch what the center does. See how my center was turning the whole time I was moving. Everything that's happening there, the center never stopped moving. The common mistake, so really be careful you're not doing this, is to come to here and turn the center too quickly. So the center is already finished, but I'm still on the back foot. Now, when I do the final move, you see, it's just a weight shift. There's no turning. My center is not turning. So you've got to get the timing right, which is what we'll be doing in next week's instructional class on this form. We'll be going over this in intricate detail. But for those of you who already know the form, just a correction, you've got to drop this hand down, but the hand's got to drop whilst kind of still facing to the front. So I'm a little bit out to the left here, of course. I do turn a fraction, but see, I haven't turned far. I'm not past the front, for example, to there. So now, when I think, right, push my weight across and turn that foot, when I do that movement, that weighted turn, my center line is very clearly twisting as I do that movement, rather than sort of like, oh yeah, look, there was still a twist there. It was like a 2-degree twist. That's not enough. You're not going to get any force in that movement if you've already wasted the movement. You should have done the hinge block already, which is what happens in Yang Qing Fu's form, of course. They do the movement, the more modern form, they do the movement on the back foot. It is a little bit easier to get the timing with that one. But yeah, so I'm not going to go too much into detail. I will do this next Thursday in the class. But for those of you practicing, just make sure that if my weight is shifting forward, my center should be turning. Boom, see? So that hinge block, striking with the back of that forearm, boom, has both power sources happening, pushing from that rear leg. So there's a big weight shift happening. At the same time, the center is turning. Brush knee twist step, exactly the same thing. When you do any of the brush knee twist step versions, doesn't matter which one it is, I'll use this one as an example, but it's the same from here and it's the same from here. Oops. Face plant. At least she didn't headbutt the wall like she did last time. The other day, Clara came bolting through here, whoop, full head over heels, and just her head went smack right into the corner of the door frame, put a big dent in her skull. She's had a lot of good bumps on her head. Right. So, principle here. I've turned to the side, right? I've turned to the corner. When I hold the ball, I've turned to the corner. When I lift my knee, I turn slightly to my left. You see what's happened there? My center is here. I've turned slightly to my left because I don't want to stay here on the corner like this and just move my arms and leg. Then there's no center movement for that posture. I have to make sure that from here, I turn my body. I've got to turn my body. There has to be center movement, but subtle in this case. So I turn my center to here. Notice at the point that I touch my knee, my center is still a little bit open. There is no exact direction that I can give you. I'm not going to tell you it's 23.5 degrees off the north or something like that. But all I'll tell you is from here, I'm facing the corner. I'm turning towards the front, but I must not get to the front. Boom, look where my center is. there would be the front. And this is the big mistake that most people make because it's a subtle movement. Anytime things are subtle, people get them wrong when they're learning. This is why we try as best we can as teachers to make things not subtle. But some postures you can't do the move. I can't make this movement bigger because then it breaks the structure of the movement. However, what I can do is I can turn one way. Now there's two ways of doing this posture. I can turn, turn, turn. Did you notice there my center was turning to my left the entire time? Now that's much more difficult to get it right because you'll end up going, right, turning, 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 turn. Oh shit, I'm facing the front. I'm too far to the front, you see? So you've got to turn so slowly that you can fit in all of the hand movements, and when the heel touches the ground, my center is still a little bit open, so then there's somewhere to go, some twist with that weight shift. So the easier way to do it, and it's not only easier, it's just a different way of doing it. I'll do one way sometimes and another way another time. It's just a different vibe for the form. It's a little bit more martial, in fact. You pull it over to the corner, you turn to your left, still do not face the front. I'm still only turning to here. But now when I place the foot, I can actually turn my center just fractionally back to my right. So that kind of loads and charges up the body as the heel's hitting, and then I've got plenty of room to come through. So that's why I say it's a little bit more martial, because I'm getting that recoil happening. When you do a strike of any kind, you wah! There'll always be that little bit of pullback after a strike. But when we're doing Qigong, let's say I'm doing this posture. I could do this posture like this. See, it just went flowing through into the next move. That's the nicest way to learn that posture from a Qigong, from an energetical point of view. Martially, however, that strike, see that? Boom! It's like throwing a strike. What? It coils back in. Punches don't just, keep going. They pump out and they coil back in. So you'll see this throughout the form. At the basic level, most movements just kind of flow from one move to the other to teach us about that flow. Later on, we'll get these little coil back movements, which are boom, representing those power release points for the martial applications. So, when you first learn, whether you put one of those in or not is based upon whether the movement is, whichever version is the easiest to understand, because we want things to be easier for you to understand in the beginning. So with this movement, the nicer way to get it is just, it's a nice, because we want you to feel that flow, that energy, that connection to the breath. If you put that little snap back, sometimes it can stutter the flow. Whereas this one, the difficult thing here is making sure the center stays open when, so that I've got room to go. So the easier way to do it in the beginning is turn, open, and then close. Make sure that opening is happening as you're placing your foot. Do not make this mistake. Turning too far to the front, placing the foot, then opening the center. You've totally lost your body control there, because what you're doing there is you're loading the shoulders whilst your weight's going forward, so you're going in two opposite directions. You must make sure if that load is going to happen, you're doing that load now, and then you still get that movement of weight shift and hand movement and waist movement, pushing that forward all together. Like throwing a ball, like pitching a ball. What do? You that kind of thing. Everything releases together. You don't put your weight forward and load the hand, because now when I turn my waist, I've only got waist movement. I've got off the trampoline, off the trampoline. No walking on the trampoline at all. Thank you. No excuses. I know you're still only 2. Do not walk on the trampoline because my camera is up there, okay? Right, so, yeah, basically, point being, you've got to make sure the weight shift, the waist movement, the arm movement, all of those things are throwing that force forward all together when you're doing that movement. Don't go, oh my goodness. Oh my God, the other one hit it this time. Raus! Okay. I can't complain. I was far worse when I was a child. The amount of videos Dad's going, "Shut up, Eli," on his videos. So place the heel down. Center is open. Okay? And then now you can feel that weight shift, that center turn. Oh, boom! When you come into that final movement. Look at that, right on time. Okay. Any questions? Everything made sense?
Yeah, it was a great class.
Yeah, cool, cool. Glad you're enjoying. Well, that's it for the day. No other classes today. I can actually get some work done today. I had one of those days yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, yesterday and the day before. You know when you're like, right, I've got a free day. I'm going to be really productive today. I'm going to finish that book. I'm going to do all those updates on the, you're going to get stuff done. I still haven't even finished sorting out all my stuff in my office because we've only just moved in here. So I've put the desk together, put some shelves up. I built my office, but still got stuff in boxes. I need to sort things out. I'm still doing all that stuff. But yeah, both the last previous days where I had some time, one little annoying thing happened, computer-based. And I was like, why is that happening? A glitch. I've got to fix that before I do my next class. 5 hours later, I've got no work done today. I did fix the problem, but yeah, it's really, and that annoys me. Like, I don't mind getting no work done if I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to work. I'm going to take the kids to the park. We'll go to the pool. I'm doing something else nice. But when a tech, it's like it's someone else's fault. It's MacBook's fault. You took my day from me. That's when it gets annoying.
That's why you use Windows. There, Matt.
All right. Right. So yeah, tomorrow we've got a class tomorrow morning, same time, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning and 8 a.m. Sunday morning. And then next week we'll be back on for the next week of things, continuing from this week. So I will see you all there. Thank you all for joining me. And yeah, have a lovely day. Have a lovely week. And if I don't see you, have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. See you soon, guys.